Hello. It's been a while since we've seen each other on a weeknight evening, and it's usually because I spend the whole day cooking for work, and then I don't want to do anything more after that. But today is Monday. I did spend the entire day working on food, but I also have a very crowded fridge, and I bought these mushrooms when I went to Flushing last week. And there's no place for them to sit anymore, and as you know, mushrooms can get quite icky relatively fast if not stored properly, and I'm just terrified of these beautiful mushrooms, they smell so good, going to waste. So we're not going to wait for them to get slimy, we're just going to cook them. And I don't quite know how we're going to cook them yet, I just know that we need to. And that's why we're here. We are gathered here so that mushrooms do not go to waste. And now I think one of the best ways to perhaps cook it is in the Instant Pot. For I do not believe turning on the stove at this point in the night is a good idea. What do you think? That's why I gathered all of you here today. I also need to clean my stove. It's like disgusting. There's just gunk everywhere, and I don't want to like apply heat to gunk because that just makes the gunk even worse. So that's what's going on in my head. Stuffed mushrooms. Stuffed mushrooms takes a lot of effort, and I'm a mush girl. When it comes to cooking for myself, I just like to keep it easy breezy cover girl, you know? That's just me. Let me exit out of Slack and turn my status to away, for I did not take a lunch break today, and that is not good for my mental health. So we're gonna let the people know that I am donezo with work, and I am going to be present here with you. You guys are giving me a lot of recipe ideas that I do not want to make right now. I am not going to be frying mushrooms. It's low effort. I'm keeping it lazy. Capiche? Sorry, I'm still just closing all of my various work tabs so I could live my life outside of work. Is there such a thing? Just add sugar and soy sauce and garlic. Yes, that is the right train of thought. Salt and peppers, yes, correct. I also have a lot of scallions and chives. I have some garlic, definitely some garlic. I have some ginger, I have some carrot. We can definitely do like an Instant Pot thing and just let it go, and it'll be very hands-off and potentially delicious, and would go great with this fonio bean thing that I still have some of. I am getting hungry again, even though I ate like a whole jar of this today. So maybe we'll make the mushrooms and put it over this. I am starting to wonder if I should be freezing these mooncakes. Look at the inside. Look at the interior of the mooncake. Okay, the first thing we need to do is move this camera out of the way so I don't break my camera. And I need to wash Fred's plate. There are so many fruit flies, and I have no idea why they've come to harass me now. Why now? Why now? I have no idea where Cape Breton is. Where is Cape Breton? Very uneducated fellow here. You must teach me all the things. Okay, y'all. Let's play a game of, is this Jollibee gravy still good that Aaron bought probably over a month ago? I'm gonna say no. Yeah, I feel like that's a hard no. Let's just... Woof. Oh. One thing that we can season with is Mom's soybean paste that I opened for Budget Eats. It has been open for over half a year, but it is mostly salt. So I do believe it is still quite good. Hi, Freddie. Hi, Freddie. Do you want to say hi to the people? Bless you. Okay, bye. He probably heard the can pop open for the Jollibee gravy and then left because there's nothing in it for him. Absolutely nothing in it for him. All right then. Here we go. Our beloved Instant Pot. That's his automatic feeder. And then the plate in the sink is for him. So I think what I'm gonna do is first mix our condiment in here so that we can dissolve it in water. Just a little bit of water. And then maybe a splash of Chinese vinegar. Oop. A little bit of sesame oil. Go. I'm going to crack some black pepper. I'm going to add some of Mom's white pepper. Great. Wonderful. Then I'm just going to try to dissolve this knob in this liquid a little bit. Instant Pot is a pressure cooker. It also has other functions like slow cooker and saute. It has pre-settings for rice and porridge and poultry. I've never used those before. I've only used the manual mode. But how's everyone's Monday? Talk to me. Tell me how you're doing. Tell me how you're doing. I'm still feeling a little bit manic because it's the first day of the week. But I am taking Wednesday off so I can go get my physical done at the doctor's and just hopefully do nothing with the rest of the day. I guess this will be braised mushrooms of some sort, yes. I might add a sausage in here, like a Chinese sausage. I also, a while back, bought these pickled spicy radish. I bought 2 of these huge bags for $1 because they were expiring May 2022, but like, you know, it's filled with preservatives and salt, so there's no chance that it's really going to spoil. It's basically pickles. So we might plop some salty stuff in there, salty and sweet. Oh my God, Mona, no! That's horrible. I am so sorry. Whoops, whoops. For those of you who are not familiar with Chinese pickles, these are amazing. When I had kidney issues as a kid, I was not allowed them because they were super salty, crunchy, salty, everything you want. Everything you want. Good times. Good times. You had a success at work. Congratulations, Jake. So happy to hear. Okay. chemicals are in. I've been trying to think about why I even do these lives sometimes, because it takes me twice as long to make something than if I were to just do it on my own. And then I was thinking back to that week-long food diary video that I did, and I was thinking about how in that one part where I was doing something and I was talking about how we don't even make time to do things slowly anymore because our society is so go, go, go. And I feel like part of what I enjoy about these lives is it makes me present in a way that I wouldn't be if I didn't have a virtual audience of sorts. Obviously, it's also very social because y'all are talking to me, to other people, and there's a feedback loop of sorts. But very interesting to just pause sometimes and think about, why do I do the things that I do? Why do you do the things that you do? Kidney issues as a kid was an autoimmune disease. Because my body sucks. We're just going to keep it big, simple, chunky. I should also really sharpen my knife one of these days. If you've never had Chinese sausage, you owe it to yourself to have them. If you eat meat. If you don't eat meat, I guess don't do it. My mom would probably tell me to wash them, so I'm gonna wash them. They are a hard salami, yes. They're sweet too. Guys, the other live, I got another comment that was along the lines of, I love you, June, and I love all the videos that you do, but if only you could just be a little more conscious of your water use, like you use way too much, you would be a great role model for other people. And I just gotta say, y'all, I can be a really fucked up human, just like the rest of us, I really don't want to be anyone else's role model. That's all. Okay, thanks for listening. I also wonder if people know how much water goes into the production of things, like the production of clothes, the production of almonds, the production of, I don't know, grains. Like, everything costs water usage. Just because you don't see me use the water does not mean that I'm not using water in other ways. Yeah, that's kind of how my soul feels these days too. I just don't want to be a good human being. Can I just not be a good human being? Can I just be like a mediocre, slightly shitty human being? Because I feel like it could be worse, you know? It's not even the you suck for using too much water aspect of it. It's the you could be such a great role model. I don't want that responsibility. You know, the people who are usually role models for other people either turn out to be fakes, can't live up to the expectations and the idolizations of others, or they turn out to be like completely insane. So I'm good. I'm good. Sometimes as a society, we have to just say, hey, you're shitty, but it could be worse. So I guess that's fine. I'm gonna grate some ginger for spiciness, for health, whatever you wanna attribute to ginger. Did you know that ginger is not a root? It is a rhizome. Apparently, rhizome is the portion that is between the root and the stem of the plant. It's like the hub of roots, basically, not the tendrily legs of the root. The more you know, the more useless you realize the world is. Enough ginger. That much ginger. As you can see when I cook for myself, I do not measure anything. Ta-da. Yes, Grandma liked the boiled peanuts. At least she ate them. And I just made her more today, so she'll have more. I also bought these Japanese sweet potatoes. Do you think we should plop them into the Instant Pot whole so that they can kind of steam on top? Human Club. I'm in. One garlic clove, 2 garlic clove, 3 garlic clove, 4 garlic clove, 5 garlic clove, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. 17 cloves of garlic. I'm gonna take my sweet ass time chopping these mushrooms because I deserve some time. I don't really deserve some time, but I deserve time as much as other aspects of my life deserve time. So I shall give it to myself. When was the last time you gave you some time? I don't have a favorite dish to make, unfortunately. I don't know, sometimes cooking gives me anxiety, just thinking about it. Recently, friends have been asking me to go out to eat, and like, I do have moments where I'm like, yes, let's go out to eat. And then I have moments where I'm like, no, I really don't want to. Food gives me anxiety. I think it's because I spend too much of my life dealing with it. Can't ever feel like I get a break from it. I got these mushrooms because I think they were on sale for like $3 or $4 a pound, which is actually pretty cheap for mushrooms. And then you think about the fact that like you can buy chicken for less than that price, and you're like, in what world are you producing meat from a living being for cheaper than you can grow mushrooms? Isn't that weird to think about? I mean, I guess it is, it has to do with like the density and weights of these things naturally, but still, just thinking about the fact that you can buy a dead animal for cheaper than you can buy mushrooms is worrying. Very worrying. True, but are mushrooms animals? No. If mushrooms are animals, a lot of the vegetarians I know are gonna have a major freak out. Hi, Servia. Look at this cool pattern. I guess I prefer mushrooms because I can't hear them scream when I'm cutting them open. Not that I can hear my plastic packaged chicken scream either. We are so distant from our food source these days. What else can I put in here? Can I put anything else in here? I think we're definitely covered on the salty front. Maybe I will just take it easy. Yes, take it easy. Take it easy, she says, as she keeps looking for other things to put in there. I will just put a little bit of this hoisin sauce because I'm really trying to get rid of it. That is more salt, I realize, yes, but it's okay. I'll just pay for it later. Smells good so far. see myself adopting a child, but if I ever develop some unforeseen sense of maternal instinct for humans, I would only allow myself to adopt. I don't like making promises, but if I do make any promises, it's that I will not be creating a biological child ever in my life. If I can promise anything, it's that. I am determined to not. Minutes. Now we clean the kitchen. I am very excited to clean the kitchen. You have no idea. Yeah, I'm taking care of my grandma, and tomorrow when I'll need company, I'll just make do with what I have. That is not a good enough reason for me to have a kid. I am not giving birth to slaves or servants here. Some people have that mentality, especially coming from a Chinese background. They just feel like, of course, you give birth to kids and they take care of you when you're old, but no. That is, in my point of view, not a system that I would like to keep perpetuating. I'm prepared to die alone. Ooh, did I close the vent? Good point. It was not closed. Thank you. See? That's why I keep you guys around. It can make a difference to saute first. You can develop caramelization, but for me it's not worth it. The sauteing power on the Instant Pot is like very hit and miss depending on your model. And I don't need caramelization, I'm good. My mom also promised me when she was taking care of Grandma that she will never have me take care of her the way she was taking care of Grandma. And that's always kind of stayed with me. That like my mom was, I feel like my mom was so kind of deeply, whether or not she realized it, kind of traumatized by the experience of taking care of my grandmother. And I know it's not fair of me to think of this way, but you know, a large part of ourselves and the things that we feel are not rational. A big part of me does blame Grandma for Mom's untimely death. I feel like the stress of taking care of Grandma alone in a pandemic was a large part of what did her in. But then again, if we're supposed to be putting blame on all the factors, then I am to blame too, because I didn't volunteer to help out, and Mom could have used it, I'm sure. But would Mom have accepted it because of her cultural and sociological conditioning? I don't know. So, you know, that's why people say, like, you can't blame yourself for these things, because who do you blame and to what end is any of this useful anyway? The fact is that Mom died, and that's that. Melissa, my day was, let's give it a date. Why? Why not? So far, so good. Precisely, Jasmine. But by then, I'll still be streaming off of this Pixel 2 XL, and it will truly look like everything is filmed on a potato. Probably because if I live to be that old, I will have dementia and think that a potato is my phone. Round cookies with the designs on them. Lucy, that will be a mooncake recipe on Delish, available probably sometime this week. So if you just Google mooncake Delish recipe, by Friday, you'll probably find it. These are mooncakes. That one is cut. You can see that it has pastry outside, red bean filling, and then a cured duck egg yolk in the middle. Very pretty. I should probably fridge these. They don't have preservatives in them. But I have no space in my freezer. Wow. So thirsty for water. Thank you for watching the ad. You really don't have to do that, y'all, but I appreciate it. Let's label our jars while we can, before we forget what they are. This one is Chinese pickle and the day is 7-Eleven. If you guys watch Julia on Delish, it is her birthday today. Happy birthday, Julia. Bye, Paula. You can put lotus seed paste, black bean paste, there's different fruits and nuts pastes. mung bean paste, whatever bean paste you want, anything. Peanut butter paste, probably. There's been durian done. Anything you can put into a paste, you can put into a mooncake. The world is your oyster. Does anybody have recommendations on what to do with duck eggs? I bought these thinking I would cure my own duck egg yolks, and then I was like, JK, I'm not. But if you have experience cooking duck eggs, let me know how you like to eat them. Do you like to sear them? Do you like to boil them? Should we boil some? I love durian. I've never had it fresh though. Oh, this fridge is a mess. Should definitely also label my spicy mayo that I made. We're going to take our vitamins. I'm going to venture a guess that if you had mooncakes that had 2 10s of a red bean paste, it's probably because they just overloaded it with sugar. If you make your own red bean paste, you can control the sugar content a little more, but obviously that's a lot more work. Mangosteen is like a very round, dark purple skin with a little bit of like a persimmon sprout on top, like dried out, greenish brown, little flowery petals as stems. And then I think you break it open and the rind is like half a centimeter thick. And there's like white quadrants of fruit. I've never had it. I'm gonna be the bad date and just check my phone. Nez sent me a tattoo for me to get. What do you think? The other side, maybe? I would say that persimmons as a tattoo just doesn't work. They're like not dynamic enough of a fruit, you know? And then you have to think about, well then which variety of persimmon do I get? There's the two major ones, and then you can also get dried persimmon. I don't know, it's just a lot of mental work, Jasmine. Not ready. Not ready to think about persimmons on that level yet. I do have a tattoo idea that involves my boob area though. I just haven't found the artist whose style I like enough to do that design, but it has been brewing in my head for at least a month now. Basically ever since I got my last tattoo, I've been thinking about the next one. Hello, y'all. I do miss going live around this time. I've just lately been very exhausted from work and have had no interest in doing much of anything besides turning into a vegetable after I log off from work. I do wake up around 7 these days to do my grandma duties, and I feel like usually when I hit the 12-hour mark of waking, I'm just like, I will stay awake, because if I fall asleep now, my whole night schedule is going to be fucked up, but I very rarely have desire to do conscious things. Normally I don't use a scrubby because it ruins the finish, but there have been some very resilient stains plant-based persimmon flour look like? Now I have to look it up. Bye, Ellie. Oh shit, guys. I think I somehow gave myself a splinter with the scrubby? What the fuck is going on here? I promise you I'm not flipping you off. Not sure what I did to myself here. It's definitely a cut of some sort though. Oh well, maybe I'll just be a metal man. For a less damaging scrub, you can pour some salt, which I just did, or baking soda works too. The scrubby will definitely be much more abrasive, both on your hands and on the stove. Aaron and I used to be romantic partners. We are no longer. For those of you who are not caught up on the latest status. But the best thing about calling your significant other a partner is you don't really have to specify what that partnership is. And I think unfortunately because our society is so tuned into like romantic relationships and arrangements that people usually assume. But Aaron and I are basically not in that kind of marriage adjacent sense. We're domestic partners because we live together, we're roommates, we're friends, we share household chores, we share responsibility with taking care of Fred, and in all senses of the word, we are partners. But even in the last half of our romantic relationship, our relationship was kind of unconventional in that we had an open relationship. And so it's always been a little bit less easy to explain to people because our society is just not equipped to understand that you can have options in the way you live your life, y'all. Look at that. Who'd ever thought? You don't have to be A or B. There are many other letters, and then beyond the letters, you also have other languages that don't use letters. And if you could learn how to speak other languages, you might see the world differently. sorry for your friend. Everyone's grieving process is very different. Back when I first lost my mom, I made it public. A lot of people don't. I'm not sure if your friend is even aware of what she wants at this stage. It might be overwhelming to ask her what she needs or wants. I would say, depending on how close your relationship is, just keeping an eye on, is she drinking water? Is she feeding herself? Does she have family checking in on her? Is she around people? I would say that when I was grieving, the hardest thing to do was to be alone. Even if people didn't do anything with me, just knowing that there were people there really helped me in terms of not feeling like completely lost and drowned in processing everything. That's a lot of why I continued my live streams, because I just, after a week of letting my new life without mom sink in, I was like, I need outside contact to have some sort of context for this and to just share it so that I'm not carrying it alone. But not everyone wants that. Not everyone has my upbringing. Not everyone has my point of view. So it's really up to your friend and to your knowledge of your friend what they might need in this time. And you might not be able to get an answer out of them regarding what they need, because they might still be in the thick of it, of just like understanding what the fuck happened. Because it's really hard to process that one moment your mom is there and the next she's not. So give her space, but also give her the basics of, is she resting? Is she eating? Is she drinking? Is she showering? Is she taking care of herself? She's gonna be on autopilot for a while. And that's fine. Don't give her any more pressure than she can take, and she can't take very much right now, probably. But just being there and offering stuff, not pushing them on to her, but just being there and offering if she needs. She'll take it. But I don't have an answer, really. Grief is not one size fits all. Self-care is not one size fits all. But yeah, just being there, just offering. That's it. When my mom passed away, I made an Instagram post and I said, I'm turning comments off. I don't want condolences. It becomes traumatic to hear, I'm so sorry your mom died. It becomes a burden you don't want. And it didn't do anything for me anyway at that point to have strangers and even friends say, I'm so sorry. Because every time I had to hear, I'm so sorry, I had to remind myself that mom's dead, and that's why they're saying sorry. And so for me, I made it very clear that this was my first time losing someone this close to me. If you have practical tips about how to handle affairs, sorting through possessions, sorting through her life, sorting through her death, sorting through her corpse, all of that, reach out. But otherwise, give me space, and that's what I tried to communicate, and most people respected that. When people say I'm sorry, I think, especially in the American culture and context, it is more to show that the sayer of I'm sorry is a feeling, sympathetic person. And it's just to fill the gaps of the awkwardness of loss. But the awkwardness and the pain of loss cannot be filled with anything. It is just going to be empty for a very long time. And eventually, things will come back into that space, but it will be a different space. I don't know if that helped you, but those are my thoughts. I mean, if she says she's fine, then she's fine. Because she's as fine as she can be right now. I don't think it can be up to any of us to say to her she's not fine. But also, there is no fine in grief. So, I think one of the most illuminating things a few people told me was, there is no right or wrong way to grieve. Nothing is normal in this time. And you have to think the flip side of, if nothing's normal, then everything's normal. And the important thing, I think, for people in grief is to normalize everything that they're feeling and to not add any more ill effects onto what's already a living nightmare. So if she says she's fine, treat her like she's fine. This is her fine now. She just lost her mom. As much as things can be fine, they will be. It is never a good time to set higher standards for yourself, especially in a time of grief. What the fuck is this? Maybe my body will just reabsorb the metal. I feel like I don't really see anything except a cut and a bump. But I feel like there's something in there. I don't know. Whatever. Whatever, y'all. We got 16 minutes on the Instant Pot, and we did a lot of cleaning. The counters are shiny now. What if it rusts? I don't know. Then I'll be a rusty, rusty human. That sounds delicious. Corn salad. Yum. Have a good one, Jake. Ooh, saltwater soak. Shall we then? Oh, let me show you guys what happened. Remember the nice tea kettle we bought? Well, we made a oopsie and we ended up burning the thermometer's glass, or plastic rather. And it looks like hard candy now. You can't see the temperature anymore, but it's cool. have a demise, including us. Lately I've begun to regret throwing out my mom's mysterious pink Himalayan salt that was somehow poured back into those like table salt paper cylinder containers. I don't know how my mom managed to pour a shit ton of salt back into that little paper metallic spout, but she did. And at first I was like, why the fuck is this salt pink? And then I realized she probably bought Pink's Himalayan salt and then stuffed it back in there. But since I couldn't verify, I didn't know what the hell it was also heavy as shit, so I just dumped it. And now I'm just like, well, see? Could have used it for cleaning. Probably could have used it for cooking. At the time, I dumped out like 80% of mom's iodized table salt because I was like, I don't use table salt for cooking. And it's heavy. So I'm gonna throw most of it out and just leave a little bit. And now I've come to love it. Like when I fry the youtiao for my grandmother, only the table salt sticks to that hot donut. The kosher salt, being so flaky, does not. And table salt is always seen as the cheaper option, and after working in restaurants for 4.5 years, everybody idolizes the school of using kosher salt for everything, and so does food media. But I'm just like, well, what's wrong with table salt? Nothing. It's great. A little middle finger bath. Delicious. Is this everything you wanted to watch on a Monday night? Just a random Asian girl dipping her middle finger into a teacup filled with saline solution? What an exciting life we lead. So table salt comes iodized and uniodized. Iodized just means that they added iodine to it, which is actually a necessary nutrient in your body. So people who don't have enough iodine should actually use iodized table salt. Kosher salt is never iodized as far as I know, but is pink salt worth the hype? Probably not. It's literally salt, my mans. Salt is salt in my opinion, but I will say the one salt that I really like that's not bougie is like black salt that you find in South Asian Indian supermarkets. It has a very interesting smell and taste to it. Very savory. Is there a story about this cute shirt? This was found in a thrift store in the East Village for $6. Some of the buttonholes are not sewn well. They're just like literal slashes in the fabric. So I tried to get grandma to like finish the buttonhole seaming for me, but she misunderstood the assignment and just like sewed the slashes cut, like shut. So then I couldn't put any buttons through it because she thought it was like supposed to be mended. So she mended the hole instead of lining the hole. Anyway, I undid her stitches and I was like, don't worry about it, Grandma, I'll fix it at home. Of course, I haven't had time to sew the shirt. But this shirt comes from L Train Vintage in the East Village. Although that particular shop does not call itself L Train Vintage. I don't know why. It's like half polyester, so not a great finish. But I really like the print. It has a very androgynous look to it, which I appreciate. It's not very feminine or masculine. The sleeves are very interesting in terms of length. I've never seen a shirt with this length of sleeve. So that's the length that the shirt comes with. But I prefer a rolled up sleeve anyway, so you can't really tell the original length. That's nice to hear, Paulina. I'm so glad you found a new hobby. Mold and salt is very good. It is also very expensive. Very expensive. Truffle salt is good. Yes. Also very expensive. Y'all have very expensive taste. I don't even know why you're here on this channel. All we eat is shit trash food. Yes, veggies are in the Instant Pot. We have 9 minutes to go on the cook time. I am getting a little bit hungry. Feel like I need to sterilize a needle and just like poke at it a little bit, you know? What's in there? Next thing you know, we'll be in a scene in an Aronofsky movie. And then YouTube will ban me forever. But yeah, sometimes you just gotta sterilize a needle and just go for it. I don't know what the hell this is. You can't tweeze through skin though. That's gonna leave a bigger mark. I feel like if there's anything under the skin, the needle will be a sharper instrument. Baking soda paste. Do you guys want to see Freddy? Let's go see Freddy. Hi, buddy. You being a lazy boy? Being a lazy boy today? Lazy boy. Lazy, lazy boy. Freddie, do you want a theme song? Should we make you a theme song? What should Fred's theme song be, y'all? Good shake. Oh, I don't remember the Powerpuff Girls song. It's been so long. I'm too old. Oh, definitely not Bruno Mars. What? What was that sigh about? What was that sigh about, Fred? Okay. Yes, we've had Fred for 16 months now, buddy. 16 months. How would you rate on a scale of 1 to 10 your satisfaction of your 16-month stay so far, sir? It is. Barfy Fret song is pretty good. That's pretty good. What'd you hear? What'd you hear? You heard people running outside? What do you think they're running from? Themselves, right? They're always running from themselves. Yep. This is the way we live. I know, we're a weird species. That's the spot, Freddy. Yeah, that's the spot. Yeah. Does that feel good? Can I get a higher rating now? Can I get like a 1 to 2 point raise on my rating? I think you fell asleep in my hands, y'all. Oh, he woke up. Do you see yourself? Do you see how handsome you are? Freddy, look how handsome you are. Wow. So handsome. How do you feel about being so handsome? Yeah, I know. I know. It's hard being handsome. Everybody wants a piece of ya. Freddy, our dinner's ready. Well, not yours. Literally half the things in that pot will kill you, but my dinner's ready. Do you think you want some? Do you think you want some? Big sigh. Freddy, can we hold hands? Do you think I can hold your hand? Can I hold your hand? I wanna hold your hand. Just hold one. I just want to hold one. Can I have one? Are you grooming me? Just a little bit? You always groom Aaron, but you never groom me. Why do you love him so much more than you love me, Fred? You love Aaron more. Why do you like him more? Is it because you both have middle school level humor? You're both boys stuck in the 9th grade, aren't you? How do you like the paw massage? Oh, you don't? Okay. Alright. Well, fine. I'll leave you alone then. I see how it is. Not even a look back. Not even a look back. Fred doesn't love the walks. He'll take it because he has no other choice. But he really hates it when we come back. He acts like we betrayed him. It's looking like this might just be my eczema, actually. Just looks kind of bubbly. Whatever. I'm not going to stick a needle in it and make it worse for myself. But the salt soak was very nice, so thank you for that suggestion. Should I just let it depressurize on its own? I do want to eat though. Let's have a little bit of this with my Bulgarian cream cheese. Cheese for burek is what this says, but it's basically like a Bulgarian cream cheese, crumbly, kind of feta, but kind of saltier and funkier. The pineapple is the second pineapple that Mom's coworker gave to Grandma. We should probably cut it soon, so Grandma can have it. But I just bought her strawberries, so maybe I'll cut it tomorrow night. Developing an appetite for all things spicy, which is very bad because it triggers my skin condition. But it's so good, y'all. Oh, you know what I should put on here? Cilantro. Cilantro would be really good. Cheers. Over there. Does this count as vegetables? I hope it does. It's green. Okay. Help me feel a little bit more productive by giving me a topic to talk about. Make it real juicy, shall we? Because honestly, I would end the live right now, but I feel like we all want to see the reveal of this. But I also want to take full advantage of the fact that, like, we've spent so much electricity building up the pressure that we need to just let it depressurize on its own and have the flavors develop even more. I just feel like it would be throwing money away and energy away if we just depressurized it now, and then it would scare the shit out of Fred anyway. So let's talk, shall we? What is the difference between white pepper and black pepper? I am not knowledgeable enough for that, unfortunately. But they do taste very different. White pepper has more of a musky taste to me. I have no idea what P-Valley is, but I did just spend last night watching Megan Fox's new thriller on Netflix called Till Death. Has anyone seen Till Death? Gas is crazy. Yes, prices everywhere for everything is crazy. I don't know what there is to say about it besides crying about it, but where do you see humanity in the next 20 years? We're definitely drinking some sort of liquid nutrition, or just have it like pumped into us at that point. Oh, I thought it dropped, it did not. Have you always lived in New York? I was born in Beijing. I lived in Japan when I was 3, left it to go back to China when I was 4, and then I immigrated to New York when I was 7. I went to college in PA for 4 years, then I went back to China to teach for a year, and then I moved back to New York. And then 4 years after moving back to New York, I was like, fuck this place. And then I wanted to move to the Pacific Northwest, so Aaron and I took a trip to Seattle and Portland, Oregon, and then I was like, no thank you. So yes, I've been here for most of my life. I love Soylent. I love Soylent. I don't think there's anything wrong with it, but I just feel like it would be such a shame if we only drank Soylent to keep alive. I would not move to LA. No, negative. Your local Irish pub is very affordable, Jasmine. Where do you live? Everybody's gonna want to go raid Jasmine's bar now. LA, I got hit by a car in LA? It's not walkable? I need to be somewhere walkable? I have no idea where Blooming Grove is. I have never heard of that place. Do you see signs that conservative right-wing society is devolving? I don't know what that means. What's a good baby shower gift for my American Chinese sister who's having her first child? It's a boy. I want to get something traditional. I have no idea. I'm not Chinese enough to tell you what you should be getting for Chinese babies. Unfortunately. Sorry. I've never been to Louisville, Kentucky. Soylent is banned in Canada. Why? I love Soylent. True. LA tap water also tastes like soggy dick. How much cilantro is too much cilantro? When you can only taste the cilantro and not anything with it. That's too much cilantro. My tolerance is very high. I've been to New Orleans. Public transit was okay. It was way too humid though. I can't do that. What does compatibility mean to you? It means that two people or systems can coexist without feeling like the other is doing the wrong thing. You may not like everything the other person does, but you don't hate them for it. When you're not cooking, what do you like to do for fun? I like going on walks. I like watching movies. I like making videos too now. I've never edited videos before I started doing it for this channel. I mean, there was that class in college that I like used Final Cut Pro for 2 nights. But I enjoy the process of editing stuff. I don't really know the hacks, but I like telling a story through editing. What happened to Canada's internet? I am kind of attached to this apartment, but there's also like the whole noise issue that I would love to be rid of. But our landlord is quite nice. The kitchen works for my job right now, and I just don't have it in me to like have major life changes in this moment. So I'm fine staying here, but I'm not like determined to stay here. Haven't seen the anime. I'm not a big anime person. Aaron definitely likes anime more than I do. Do you identify yourself as Chinese American or only American? Definitely Chinese American. I don't feel American enough. And I don't feel Chinese enough. So I think Chinese American is probably the most accurate identity for me. Sherry. How to find purpose and meaning in life. I don't know when the next Budget Eats will be coming out because I have not filmed another Budget Eats, to be honest with you. So don't hold your breath for that. Purpose and meaning, maybe give up finding them. That's my advice. Why is it so important for us to find purpose and meaning? Is it because that we're so afraid of death? We have to attribute some meaning that isn't there to make us feel like this was all worth it? And what would it mean for us to acknowledge that none of this was worth it, and that's okay? You know? Milk or cream to make it creamy? I would recommend cream. Milk doesn't really go well in soups, in my opinion. It just doesn't have much taste, and then it can curdle a little bit. I did not go to Chinese school as a kid. Parents didn't really pay that kind of money. What is your favorite dessert? Cheesecake was the first one that came to mind, especially because I know Mom loved cheesecake, so now with her gone, cheesecake has definitely like moved itself up my ranking of desserts. I go to the grocery store, and sometimes I don't want to cook, but I still have to because it's my job. I used to not like pie because it was so American and therefore like not a part of my childhood at all, so I never really had an association with pie emotionally. But recently I've come to enjoy pie. The texture of the outside flaky, buttery, drier, crumblier layers of the crust sinking its way into a denser, chewier, wet marriage with the filling. And then the filling itself just unabashedly sweet and gooey. Yeah. Bye, Aline. Happy birthday. Have I tried garlic rice? Yes, in Lisbon we had the most delicious garlic rice and the most delicious barbecue roasted chicken. Not like American style barbecue, it was just like kind of a grilled chicken. It was amazing. Hands down, one of the best meals and values of our lives. So good. I'm not sure what the first thing I learned to cook was. I have distinctive memories of like opening up the fridge and finding wilted celery in there and knowing that Dad forgot to cook it, so I'm the one who has to cook it. But I don't actually know what I made with it. Maybe just a simple stir fry. I also have memories of roasting myself salmon. Does putting Chinese sesame paste on a piece of white Wonder Bread toast and then covering it with granulated sugar count as cooking? Because I made myself that a lot in high school. Absolutely. Absolutely not. Favorite ways to use a zucchini? Probably in a baked good. I don't really like zucchinis, to be honest. Even if I had the money, I don't know if I would choose to live solo. I would like to live in a bigger space where I can have my own room. But it is nice to be able to live next to a friend and just like go next door and have that emotional support and like body to turn to if you need anything. Obviously I would love to have a walkable city with good public transport. That is my dream. I don't feel safe biking on my own, and I don't feel safe learning how to drive. I almost killed myself and the people who were trying to teach me the first time, and I don't intend to ever do that again, so. Technically, we're not cooking. The Instant Pot is. It's still in there. I'm trying to like finish out this live, but my battery might be running out. And the pressure thingy-mabobby isn't going down, so I'm here if you are, just waiting for that thing to depressurize itself. Would you like to live in a farm? Part of me thinks I would. Part of me thinks I'm just gonna go crazy. Because I've only been a city girl my whole life. I don't know how I would do with that 180-degree change in scenery. And very rarely do you have walkable farm towns. I feel like they all require some sort of traveling to get to one place. If I were in New Orleans, I'd be up for dog sitting, but I'm not. I have to grandma sit myself, so unfortunately you're gonna have to find another taker. Sounds like a lovely doggo though. I don't do well with Marie Kondoing my life. I need mess. I need everything out in the open. I need to see things in order to imagine them being incorporated into my life. If I just tuck everything away and keep things neat, there's no way I can remember to do anything. The Instant Pot is very easy to use. You just press a few buttons and you're all set. It's more of thinking about what you want to make in it. That's the issue. What's the most profound piece of literature you've ever read? And how has it shaped you as a person? I think reading Julia Kristeva changed my life. Or rather, changed the way that I look at the world immensely. Julia Kristeva, French philosopher, I think. Her whole idea of the abject, which I've spoken about before on these lives, absolutely shifted my relationship with other people, foreign concepts, different viewpoints of life, self-hate, fear. So I would say that's probably the most life-changing piece. Christian? An album I've listened to over and over and still enjoy is what I consider to be John Mayer's greatest album, Continuum. I think the song Believe is very annoying, and I don't like it. I also don't like Waiting on the World to Change. Those two are like very politically heavy-handed, and I wasn't a fan of them, even though they were like the two big singles. But almost all the other songs on Continuum, pretty good. I am eating leftovers with a lot of cheese and cilantro. Are you an active anti-racist person? Have you ever felt emotionally drained about social justice? Definitely emotionally drained. Mostly because it makes me feel helpless. And hopeless. I'm not sure if I'm an active anti-racist person. It's funny, I was talking with a friend who's also a Chinese immigrant yesterday in Williamsburg, and we were having some lunch and just talking about having racist Chinese parents, or me, I was talking about having racist Chinese parents, and obviously there were just like black people walking around, coming in and out of the shop that we were eating at, like, and my friend got very kind of like, she like gave me visual cues to be like hush hush, and I'm like, I don't see what's the point of being hush hush about talking about my family being racist just because there's black people. Like, I almost feel like, well, it made me wonder, like, am I the racist person being so unabashedly loud and discussing in a public place racism, or was she the racist person who's like embarrassed to be discussing very openly instances of culturally instituted racism? I felt like in order to battle racism, you have to talk about it out loud. You have to acknowledge the role that it plays in your life. Obviously, I'm probably, to some degree, a racist too, because I was raised by my parents who were raised to be culturally racist. They were raised in a country that was really homogenous in terms of its racial makeup and ethnicity. And I don't see how being embarrassed about that, about my own origins, is going to help me become anti-racist. So I have not been to Dumont. What is that? I have not even heard of it. Damn it, Instant Pot! You gonna depressurize or what, girl? I'm gonna finish eating this whole tub of cheese. Not even joking. I will finish eating this whole tub of cheese. And it's like, I don't hate my parents for being racist. I know that that's just what they were taught, but it does frustrate me that they couldn't change their mind about certain things. But, you know, hey, that's the cultural barrier and that's the generational barrier. They're not bad people, but they are racist. Oh, it dropped. It dropped. And our battery's about to run out. So, here's the grand reveal. Smells like pickles. Smells like pickles. Here we have the sweet potato. Yes, very mushy. Fantastic. Great, cooked. Here we have the cabbage and juicy, juicy shrooms. Let's see if we can sling this over without dripping on my floor. Slinging. Shrooms and carrots. What food best describes my personality? I don't know, you tell me. A cactus pear? Difficult to eat. A pomegranate. Explain. Ooh, that mushroom. So tender. So soft. What a delightful texture. Yes, stars and cookies. Definitely take it one step at a time. Don't get ahead of yourself or you will torture yourself twice. Aha. Oh no. Ooh. Okay, not sure if the flavor works, sadly, but maybe it'll taste a little bit better when it's cooler. Let's get a bite of that sweet potato. Oh, look at that steam. That's one hot sweet potato. Yeah, you guys are the ones who taught me about that lid. It fits the handle. It's genius. Brilliant. Product design. This is Japanese sweet potato. It has purple, pink skin and creamy yellow white flesh. Not American sweet potato. So creamy. I love it. Okay, y'all. Thank you so much for tuning in and joining me in cooking random things. You know, the week has just begun, but I wish you the best of luck in completing it. And Freddie does too. Don't you, Freddie? Don't you wish the people the best? Yeah, Fred's not a fan either. You're not a fan? Yeah, I know. I put too much flavor in there, Fred. I always do this. I always end up putting too much flavor in shit. And then it ends up tasting so mucky. would you like to say anything to the people? Any advice for them for the week ahead, Fred? My mom kind of taught me how to cook. She didn't like to cook though. Fur. It's your fur.